Shepherd, and you're watching my art journal. If this is your first time viewing, I've got several more videos on here. Just go to YouTube and type in or text in, write in my art journal, Shannon Shepherd, and it will pull up several videos. Some are videos of me talking about my artwork. Some are videos of me actually doing a little bit of art. So today I'm going to look at this piece of art. I think I created it, finished it around 2001, long time ago now. And three more pieces that have to do with barns. So the story behind this is, as I was traveling to and from Moorhead, going there to get my bachelor's degree and master's degree, I would see this barn on the right as we were going, on the left as we were coming back, and in that day and time, seems like all the barns around us were kind of being torn down, and things were taking their place. So my wife and I guess as we would see this one, I'd say it's still standing. It was always kind of a, I don't know if it was a good feeling, but just I would look forward to seeing it. And it's still there today, 21 years later, pretty much. So what I did initially, I knew I wanted to do a piece of art about it, but I didn't know it'd be an acrylic painting. I took a photograph, as I do with a lot of things. So here's the photograph that I took. And I more or less used that photograph to get the composition. I zoomed in a little bit, about right there where you see that shadow, which was really a power line. And then, well, may have been. Here's a kind of a cropped image where I drew on a photo. And I think if you look back at this one, there's no fence post in there around it. In reality, there wasn't, and I don't think there is now. So I kind of sketched those in and kind of got a feel for what I wanted. I even played with the idea of doing a ladder in there, but I didn't end up doing, or a gate. So this is really kind of hard to see. I might do a steel where you can see that better, but basically it's an old hay rake, and a friend of mine that lived here locally, she had this in her yard, and I took a photo of it and used it as a study for this hay rake in the painting. And I think, if I remember correctly, this fence post I put right there, so to speak, but it was actually on up the road here, a photograph. And I think I may have told you in one of my other videos, I use photography or photos quite a bit as reference material to do a painting or to get an artwork. As you'll see in most of my work, I reference photos. Now, the dog that's in this photo, or in this painting, I knew that I wanted something in there to back in the day, there used to be a cartoon of a dog that was laying on the porch. Its master went away and come back, and the dog, you just have to watch it and remember it, I guess, but the dog was really loyal and waited through rain and snow for the master to return. Finally, upon returning, the dog was really irate, and that, you know, the master had left it there forever. So I guess as I was painting this, I wanted to portray that, you know, these old barns, and we still have a few with us, I guess. You know, they're buildings. I've always been in regards to this painting, is when I was doing this painting, and even as I looked at the reference or the original photo that I'd taken, I was thinking there's some really good complementary color stuff going on in here with the the red rusty kind of roof, and then the reddish shadow here, or the green shadow, and you all know, hopefully you know, that red and green are complements. So when I was looking for and creating an idea for this mailbox, and I do think this mailbox was on up the road here. I didn't mention that. I actually had a photograph of that and I couldn't find it. So that's the reason why I put that name on it. I think it's Lewis. But I was thinking complementary colors here, okay? And then something else that I tried to work in here, because this is or the sky is kind of an ultramarine, which I do not like ultramarine for skies. I included some oranges and yellows through here, kind of just to warm it up and to work on the complementary color scheme. The road, I know you probably can't see that as things go. Through here is really kind of impressionistic. As a matter of fact, when I first worked the painting out, even the barn was really impressionistic, and I went back into it and did a lot of detail. But that's just a little bit of info that you might, as I was creating this fence around through here, I really wanted to create some texture in this to kind of match the texture that was back through here, in that it was unkept. Field and the barn kind of looks like it's being kept up in this, but now in life it's not being kept up. Let me use that as kind of a segue into my second image that I want to show you, and so that's my Pawpaw's barn. And I based this drawing, and I'll show you the drawing in just a second, my Pawpaw's barn, on this photograph. Pretty much followed it pretty detailed for that. Even the placement of boards on the ground, and that this staircase is falling down and kind of up off here. Now this is an aqua tint. That's a print, and this was during, I think I created this in '98. So before I painted this one, I went through this period where I was fascinated with barns, and I would paint and draw and do prints of barns from the area where I grew up. This particular image was taken my Pawpaw's barn, from my Pawpaw's barn obviously, but there was always this place in the barn, at the back of the barn, that I thought during the morning the sunlight would just come through there, and it was so beautiful. And I was really just trying to figure out how to do a value study, black and white here, using aqua tint. So anyhow, my Pawpaw's barn was my favorite place to play growing up. And so it definitely had to be one of my art pieces. From that one, let me go to this one, because I don't have a photo right now that I could find of this is the front of my Pawpaw's barn, but I kind of zoomed in a little bit, and this is another aqua tint. It's a black and white study. It's a print. It's more abstract in that you look at it a second, a few seconds before you realize, hey, it's a barn or part of a barn. And so I was kind of just experimenting with composition, figuring out the layout on the page, black and white again, which is value, and the textures in this one, more so than the textures in the other one. I wanted to create like highlights and darks and shadowed areas, rough and smooth on the boarding through there. But again, it's a reference to my Pawpaw's barn. This door used to just hang open. It would kind of, the weather and time had pulled it over to the side. And I purposely made it dark in there so that you'd kind of want to see what was going on, or it'd kind of be up to your imagination. Now, when I was growing up, One more barn here, and I have a photo reference for this one. I can't remember, it's called On the Outside. I remember my papa's barn. This is not it, but when I was growing up, there was always some animal hides hanging out on the side of the barn, and my uncles would trap animals, and they would hang their hide out there and let them dry, sun, you know, tan, I guess. But this barn was on up the road a couple, 3 or 4 miles from my papa's house. When I drew it out, because if you look at this, the shadows over here on the right, I really like the wood, the log look right there, and so I kind of flip-flopped it from what I remember to get this over here on the right or the left to make a reverse kind of. So if you're interested in buying a print or getting a print off of me of any of my work, you can contact me locally here in Prestonsburg. I'm in the phone book. Shannon Shepherd, of course. Or if you are out and about and you want to contact me, it'll be here at the end of the video. It's ShepherdShannon46@gmail.com. I'd like to thank you for watching and viewing. Again, if you haven't checked out my art journal, just type in my art journal, Shannon Shepherd, and there's several little videos on there. I hope to do more of these videos in the near future, and I pray that you have a blessed new year, since it's 1/3/2022. Wow. May God bless you, and I look forward to seeing you next time.